All right. The one thing I'm learning about the live is you have to give a few seconds after it says that you're live for it to really be live. So I'm getting ready to take a little ride, and I thought I would chat with you guys. It's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. I just walked outside and I can't wait to get in my yard. Like next week, I will be finished with all my classes, and I cannot wait to come outside and play in the dirt. I got to clean up my flower beds. They got leaves all in them. My son, I have a little flower bed area that it's like a homecoming. What do you call it? Tailgate. So I have like an old grill that I painted, and I made it into a flower bed or a flower pot, so to speak. And I usually put perennials in there, and it's usually really pretty. And it has a little Aggie donk sitting there, and it's a space that's really cute in front of my yard. But I can't wait to get outside and play in the dirt, y'all. Next week I will be to Woosah for about a month. Well, not really, because as soon as I finish with classes, we'll go right into graduation mode. So my son graduates on the 13th of May, and I graduate on the 16th. So we're going to have a really busy week that week. And then we're going to have a celebration. I think we're going to do it Memorial Day weekend. But I wanted to jump on. I'm getting ready to go shoot a little bit of pool. And I got my book bag in the back because I'm going to shoot pool. Atlanta is in the playoffs, and I think the game starts at 6, so I wanted to get there before it gets too crowded and find me a spot over in the corner. And I'm going to do a little homework while I play a few games. But I thought I would jump on, and I wanted to chat with you guys. All right, you guys, I think we got disconnected for a moment, and I'm going to log back in. So when I'm leaving out my subdivision, I know there's a spot that's right there where connectivity is not real good. So what I was saying is that I think I'm going to do a few videos for men. And it's going to be a few tips and or pointers, if you will. Y'all, I like to walk on my street. I'm kind of distracted from that just a little bit. I like to walk on my street. In this area right here, the trees, they grow up so heavy over the sidewalk. I had just been waiting on the pollen to really settle down so I could get back out and start walking. And I just noticed that those trees are dead. And I always be so scared. Like for me to be an outdoors girl, I'm scared of the bugs. Like I be thinking like a snake gonna fall down out the tree or something. Isn't that crazy? But this video is gonna be for the men. And it's gonna be, I want to do a few tips for men in this whole dating process. I know that y'all, many guys are listening to that red pill community. And this is what I will say. If you are a man and you genuinely do not want relationship, you do not really want to connect with a woman, you guys can keep doing exactly what you're doing, and you're going to be successful at what you are doing. But if you are a man that, I continuously hear men say, I do want a relationship, I want this, but I want peace, and I just don't want to argue, and I don't want to go through this. And when I meet 50-year-old men and they still like to argue like we in our 20s, it just tells me that there's a high level of immaturity, because a man can talk to me about any conversation. He can have any conversation with me, and he can talk to me about anything that he feels he has a problem with me about. And it's going to be all about how he approached me and how he presents the issue to me. And if he comes to me like a grown, like a GAM, a grown man, he can have a conversation with me about anything. It's just a matter of saying, hey, can we sit down and can we talk about something? I'm just getting to know you, but you did so and so and so, and I kind of wanted to bring it to your attention, or I wanted to revisit that and find out, what did you mean by that? And I'm saying that because, fellas, y'all have gotten so far off. And the interesting thing is, when I see men that are in their 50s doing it, it shows the immaturity that is there. It shows that you, in some ways, have not learned from your life lessons. And one of the things that specifically I want to share with men that really want to have a relationship with somebody, be honest. What most men don't understand is that the average woman that is, and I consider myself to be either average or above average, um, the average woman that is really seeking a relationship, if she truly is desiring to be in a relationship. Now, for these women that are out here that are just here to get your money or to get you to take them to dinner, that's a different pool of women. But for a woman who is really wanting to get to know someone, she does not have a problem with having open discussions with you. And she, in most cases, is gonna, if she's in her 50s, she gonna probably be real honest about where she gonna stand with that. And what's gonna happen is it's then up to the man to then take that and say whether that's something that he wants to deal with or not. I was having a conversation, and one of my pool buddies, I'll text him and I'll say, "Hey, I need to ask you something. It's a man question, you know." And he's single and I'm single, and we talk about sometimes our dating challenges. And today I told him, I said, I want to ask you a question, you know, and the question, that's not what I'm going to talk about today. What I really want to talk about is using the words like honey, baby, love, beloved. When you first meet a woman, if you really understand, and again, this is coming from a woman who comes from a healthy background with exposure to men. So even in me being a divorced woman, I am not bitter about my ex-husband. He did what he did. He made his decisions. We made our decisions. And now here we have it that we are divorced. But I am not bitter about what my ex-husband did and the decisions that he made. I mean, really, this person pulls out in front of me going 20 miles an hour. Seriously? Um, and so, you know, I am still open for love because I understand that what my ex-husband did to me, he would have done that to any woman that he was with. And to be honest, if I take total responsibility for what part I played in that, I allowed that to happen far too long. It didn't have anything to do with him. He wasn't going to never change that. So it was just me and how long I was going to put up with the decisions that he was making. So I really have an issue. And you guys, I'm going to come into a spot right up here. Thank you for my hearts and thank you for the comments. I'll check them out when I get to where I'm going. Um, I am going to hit a little spot right here. So if you guys will stick with me, when I go through this little area, I know that the Wi-Fi might get kind of wonky. So I'm going to be cautious when I'm going through that area, and I might kind of pause for a second just so I can give it time to reconnect. But men that come into, like, if you just met somebody, even if you just met them at the gas station or whatever, if you come out the box calling me baby, sweetie, honey, I automatically know that the only reason that you're doing that is because you have up. It is just such a turnoff, just so that men will know. It is such a turnoff. Endearing words to me that only my person gets to call me that. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. If you meet a woman and immediately you start calling her honey, you start calling her baby, you start calling her sweetie, you start calling her my love, you're sending her my beloved text every morning, I feel like those texts are copy and paste. You copied it, you pasted it to mine, and then you went down with 10 or 15 other women and you copied and pasted it to them as well. And it is such a turnoff because words like that, they mean something to women like me. And since it means something to me, I don't let everybody call me that. So, prime example, I I joined a site because when I was on the site before, I was getting a lot of comments and things like that from people from other ethnic groups. And I joined a particular site, and somebody that I knew, that I met, like we met very organically. We met at a gas station years ago, a couple of years ago. Met at a gas station, exchanged numbers. We talked a little bit, but he wasn't in a good space, neither was I. And, he gets on this site and up pops me. And so, he reaches out to me. And the first time when he reached out, I was like, because I remember when we would, when we connected then. And so then he reached back out again. And I finally did respond. And I was like, hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Looks like you, because he was saying some of the same things he was saying before. And I said, I hope you find, what you're looking for. And he's like, call me. And I was like, I'm not going to call him. And so I guess about a week or so went by, and I called him. And when I did, he was like, I just wanted us to try to reconnect. Now, I actually thought I had blocked and deleted his number from my phone. But when I called him, his name still came up. So I guess it was still in there somehow. But anyway, there was nothing in a thread on him. So I must have just deleted the text messages. But either way, we were talking, and I had a conversation with him. And I just texted him and I said, hey, you know, I hope I'm not being too forward, but I just want to ask that, you know, words like love, baby, my love, sweetie, like I really would prefer just to be called Marigny. And, you know, if you could just preserve that, because I really want to preserve that for just my person. And he probably ain't gonna call me no more or whatever, but at the end of the day, I was like, because I don't want to just be in a general space. And I'm not saying that just because I meet somebody, I have to be put in a special space. But what I am saying is, men, if you really want to meet a real woman, people keep talking about people are not real and they're playing games and things of that sort. And I think that you all are getting your information from the wrong resources. You are getting your information. Wait, okay. Sorry, guys. There's a text coming through. You're getting your information from the wrong resources. As I was talking to, and this is just a general friend, as I was talking to a general friend, he was talking about the red pill community. And I was like, you can't listen to that stuff every day, all day. Like if what you're taking in every day is foul, negativity, women are bad, men are bad, I hate men, I hate women, I hate, then you're going to then exude that out because that's what you're listening to. That's what you're taking into your spirit, man. Unconsciously, you are thinking about those things. There is some truth to all of that information. But that's not the whole truth. There is some truth to the red pill community. There is some truth to the pink pill community. But that is not all truth. And what men and women need to understand, but I can just only speak for myself because I'm not approached by women. So I can't say that. I can tell you what certain things are like from being a woman and being a very feminine woman, I can tell you, but what I can't tell you what a man thinks. But men, I can tell you how a real woman takes what you say and do to her. And for me, it's a huge turn off. Like even if I did like the guy, and even if I did have a thought that we have something or build something, it is such a turn off. Because in my mind, I'm not going to be able to help but to think that the only reason you can only call me baby and sweetie is because you can't think of my name. And my name is hard enough. You know, one guy told me, he said, I've been practicing your name all day, Marigny, Marigny, Marigny. That was the cutest thing. Like, he has no idea how many points he got for that. And when he called me by my name, Marigny. How you doing, Marigny? He was very intentional with that. Well, he may not have known, but that meant a lot to me. It said a lot to me about him. And it said a lot to me about him and what he thought of me. So for a woman that is just, looking for somebody to take them out, oh God. For a woman that, okay, guys, sorry, somebody was trying to call. I'm going to have to call them back. For a woman that's just looking for a man to take her out for dinner, she doesn't care if he calls her baby, sweetie, sugar. Like, she don't care. She just wants the dinner. She just wants the free meal. She just wants the perfume. She just wants the purse. She just wants the things. And once she gets that, she just wants to post it and show it to her friends and let them know, girl, he bought me this, that, and the other. But for a woman that genuinely is looking for a relationship and the opportunity to get to know someone, she is not going to be concerned with you calling her baby. I was trying to see if I was gonna park right there, y'all. I'm gonna back in here. But I just wanted to share that with the men, because if people keep saying there's nothing in the dating pool, and there is more riffraff in there than there is positivity. I've met some good guys. The challenge is just going to be with the competition of me walking in abstinence. That's my biggest issue, to be honest. If I was sleeping with guys, I probably really wouldn't have a problem with connecting with somebody. And I'm just not going to do that until I have a connectivity. If I'm completely honest, I have a stronger connectivity with some guys that I don't have physical interaction with. They might live out of town and we might talk on the phone and things of that sort. And we have a better common core value connectivity than I do with some of the guys that are here. And I'm actually glad that those guys live out of town, because if they lived here, it might have taken a different dynamic. Now, the good thing about that is that by us having that connectivity, if we were to ever move into a relational circumstance, it probably would be really good, because we already have a good foundation of a solid friendship. And even with a couple of my pool buddies, some of my pool buddies have, like, they've never really crossed the line, if you will. One of them, he gives a good analyzation of me. He was like, pretty much anybody that you play pool with can forget it. And I was like, why'd you say that? He said, because you categorize people. Like, if you shoot pool with us, you really just shoot pool with us. He was like, most people wouldn't know that, like, you're not a woman. You're not in here flirting. You're not, trying to catch a man. You really do come to these spots to shoot pool. And he was like, so once we're put in the pool buddy category, we probably can never move out of there. And I think he's probably right, because the spots where I go to shoot, like, that's literally what just like today, I need to be at home studying, and instead of me sitting at the house in my office, I said, well, I'll go and I'll get me a table in the back, because it's probably gonna get a little crowded since the game is finna come on. I'll get me a table in the back and I'll sit there and do my homework, and I can shoot pool. And I'll be in the atmosphere with some people, get a chance to laugh, talk to people, get some good food. But fellas, just so you will know, if you're just meeting a lady, don't call her sweetie. Don't call her baby. Like, every woman is not moved by that. And some young ladies have never had a man call her that unless she associates that with some type of sexual connection. Men have even told me, they like, yeah, women don't know how to take a word of endearment. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. A real woman knows how to take it. And that's why she can shoot it down. And I know he got offended by what I said. I know he was offended by me asking him not to call me that. But the thing is, I have a level of respect for this guy. I have a level of thought process, see, that he could possibly build something with me. But if he kills that in the very beginning, it's hard to get that back from a 50-year-old woman. Now, if you want to reach back and get you like a 20-year-old and you just want you a young poppy seed that doesn't have any life experiences and everything is great, and she's just going to go along with whatever it is that you said, she probably will, because her brain has not developed to the point that she's going to analyze and think through that process. But if you are someone that is desiring to have something valuable with someone, do not go into a brand new circumstance and or situation calling women words of endearment. Save those words of endearment for a woman that actually does mean something to you. And I promise you, even for the men, that you will find that if you go into it that way, you'll begin to eliminate a lot of the women that are what people call the game players. What else they call it? Catfishing. I was trying to think of the name. The catfishers, the people that are really not true or not authentic. They don't have any um, good reasoning to be connected to you. They will disappear quickly. So that was just my tidbit, y'all. You guys have rode with me here to the spot, and I'm gonna go inside before it gets too crowded and get on this table, find me a spot. And if you like the video, I'd love for you to click like. I want you guys to give me some feedback. I didn't see that many comments. I saw some little hearts come up a little while back. But I figured it's Saturday and most people are out and about. But I went ahead and did the live because I don't have any space on my phone, y'all. I got to sit down and clear off some spots so I can do some regular videos. But to be honest, I kind of like the lives. They upload by themselves. All I have to do is go in and put the title on it and then release it. The only thing that I don't like about the lives is that I don't know. I think somebody said I'm using the wrong app, but mine take like a day to upload. So I'm doing this today. It might get uploaded by tonight, just depending on, I guess, what connectivity my phone has. But it takes it almost 24 hours for it to show up on my thread. So it's not live and then posted out there quickly. And if you're a YouTuber and you got anybody else that you can tell me anything about that, I'm open. But I think you have to go back and put it in the comments. You can't do it here on the live. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Stop calling people sweetie, baby, my love, honey. Like, I'm like, please, just don't do it. Don't do it, y'all. Bye.